On April 11th, 2023, at a drive-thru in Cheltenham Township, Pennsylvania, 35-year-old Rachel King was gunned down while sitting in her vehicle, her 11-year-old son in the back seat. What began as a relationship dispute escalated into a cold-blooded murder-for-hire plot. Today we'll discuss this tragic case. Rachel King was a teacher at Grover Cleveland Mastery Charter School. She was described by colleagues as passionate, dedicated, and deeply loved by her students. The morning of the shooting, she stopped at a Dunkin' drive-thru. Surveillance footage from the Melrose Shopping Center showed her black SUV pulling into the drive-thru around 7:30 a.m. A silver Mercury Sable pulled up behind her. The driver stepped out, walked to the driver's side window, and fired multiple shots before driving off. Rachel's son, trapped in the back seat, witnessed the entire thing. The investigation began immediately. Police recovered 6 9mm shell casings at the scene. Witnesses described the shooter's car, and surveillance cameras from nearby businesses provided clear footage of the silver Sable fleeing the parking lot. Detectives quickly began tracing the vehicle, and what they found led to a chilling revelation. The car had been purchased less than 2 weeks earlier by a woman named Julie Jean. At first, Julie denied any involvement, but the timeline didn't lie. Investigators found that she bought the vehicle on March 30th, just days before the shooting. When detectives obtained search warrants for her phone, they uncovered deleted text messages and evidence of communication with a man named Zaki Al-Hakim. Zaki's phone told its own story. On his phone, detectives found a Google Maps screenshot of Rachel's apartment complex, complete with a marked route to her home. There were also photographs of Rachel pulled from her social media accounts, saved and shared between Julie and Zaki. These digital breadcrumbs painted a picture of deliberate surveillance, planning, and stalking that stretched back several weeks before the crime. Even more incriminating, phone records placed both Julie and Zaki's devices near Rachel's apartment complex in the days before the shooting. Investigators learned that the two had met in West Philadelphia, and prosecutors would later reveal that their partnership was built on a shared motive of jealousy and revenge. Rachel's partner, William Hayes, had previously been involved with Julie. After their breakup, Julie reportedly harassed both William and Rachel online and through text messages. When William tried to move on and build a new life with Rachel, Julie couldn't let go. Her obsession turned deadly when Julie conspired with Zaki to eliminate the woman she viewed as standing in her way. Detectives were also able to connect another crime to Zaki through ballistic evidence. The shell casings found at the scene of Rachel's crime matched those from a separate homicide in Philadelphia just 4 days earlier, with the earlier shooting being linked to Zaki, suggesting he used the same ghost gun and untraceable firearm built from a kit in both crimes. Although the gun itself was never recovered, the casings told the story investigators needed. The defense argued that there was no direct eyewitness identifying Zaki as the shooter. There was no fingerprints or DNA tying either defendant to the scene, and the murder weapon had vanished. But prosecutors countered those claims with a web of circumstantial proof so tightly drawn that it left little doubt. The evidence of the vehicle purchase, deleted text messages, GPS routes, surveillance videos, the matching shell casings, it all pointed to the same conclusion, that Julie orchestrated the plan and Zaki carried it out. The courtroom was packed throughout the proceedings, with Rachel's family, colleagues, and students filling the benches, waiting for justice. The jury took less than an hour to deliberate. On March 21, 2024, both Julie and Zaki were found guilty of first-degree murder and criminal conspiracy. They were each sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For Rachel's family, the verdict brought a measure of closure, but no peace. Her loved ones described her as the kind of woman who poured love into everything she did, whether it was teaching her students or raising her son. Her father spoke at sentencing, and he said Rachel was light, she was joy, and they took that from us. In the end, what unraveled this murder-for-hire plot wasn't one piece of smoking gun evidence, but the accumulation of details, digital footprints that told the story of obsession turned fatal. This case was a reminder of how quickly jealousy can transform into violence, how one moment of rage can ripple through countless lives. Her son, her students, and her community continue to honor her memory, not as a victim, but as a teacher who gave everything. I want to thank you guys so much for listening today, and I'll see you in the next video.